been such a busy week. Busy and fun. It was Scent Week in LA, and there were so many events to go to, and Thursday was the Art and Olfaction Awards. I was asked to be a presenter this year. 2 years ago, when the awards were in Los Angeles, I presented then as well. And I remember the first thing that struck me when I walked into the Cicada Club was how everyone was so turned out. The fashions were incredible. Everyone looked amazing. So I knew that this year I really needed to, what's the expression, up my game? If you remember, a few weeks ago, I was at the Dries Van Noten boutique and I fell in love with a coat, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. So I did what I had to do. I did tons of research. I was finding that the current season of Dries Van Noten was starting to go on sale on sites like Mr. Porter and Essence and other online retailers. I did all of my groundwork. I went into the boutique. I begged for a discount. It was ugly. And I got the coat. And I'm so glad that I did. It was exactly what I wanted to wear that night. And it's an investment that will pay off because I'll love it forever. And I know that's the case because I have things in my closet that I bought 30 years ago that still take my breath away and that I wear regularly. This is going to be one of those pieces. And I can honestly say that I held myself in a certain way while wearing this coat. I commanded downtown Los Angeles. It was a great night, not just because of the coat, but because of all of the amazing people there. There was such a warm feeling. I actually found that the perfume world in general is so kind. I've met so many kind, generous people. It's very different from, say, the art world, which was my former career, my former life. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I just had some negative experiences in the art world, but by comparison, the perfume world is very fluffy, very lovely, with such beautiful people. I want to congratulate all of the finalists of the awards. There were so many extraordinary fragrances to choose from, and I know, because as I mentioned, I was one of the judges for the artisan category of the awards, and I smelled hundreds of perfumes. It was really fantastic to meet some of these people in person because I've known them online, and to meet them face to face was wonderful. I'm going to be talking with some of these people specifically, but not here through my work. I don't know if you knew this about me, but my day job is in perfume. I manage 2 perfume stores here in Los Angeles that's connected to an online retailer. I've been with them now for 16 years, and I'm in the stores less and less these days, and I'm working on other projects. We started a podcast somewhat recently, and it's been such a pleasure to interview perfumers and founders of brands and members of the team at work who are so knowledgeable and so warm. So we taped an episode of the podcast with some of these winners, and when it's ready to air, I will let you know. One person I had the pleasure of meeting this week was Stefan Radut. He's the founder of this brand, Celeste. He's based in Bucharest, Romania. And we started communicating last year, shortly before he launched the brand. The brand is inspired by angels, and that's definitely something that I'm interested in. I was thrilled when he won the award for Best Newcomer this year. So well deserved. It was for a perfume called Principalities. My personal favorite from the brand is Archangels, and I have this here. Stefan was so kind to send this to me last year. And just look at this presentation. Isn't this beautiful? It's very cold, sparkling incense fragrance. It really makes me think about scent as something sacred. And I imagine trails of incense just finding their way upward into the sky. A beautiful scent, and this bottle is extraordinary. I got to talk to Stefan about this, and I asked him about the creation of this bottle and the cap. Now, I know it's hard making a new brand and very expensive, so I told him I can appreciate how ambitious this was to create a custom cap like this. And he said it was not easy. It was rejected by many foundries that he went to, but he did find people to finally do it. Each one has to be finished by hand because of these details. But it's special. It's incredibly special. When I met Stefan at the awards, he told me that he had a gift for me. This was a complete surprise. And he gave me this record. Let me get it now. This is a Romanian artist named Valeria Stoica. The album is called Go Outside and Hug a Tree. And I don't know how he knew it, but I do love this music. I've been listening to it non-stop since he gave it to me. I would describe the music as laid back, shimmery pop. It's fantastic. So Brennan and I wandered the streets of downtown LA while I was holding this record as we went to the after party. But first we had to stop and get some tacos at Guisado's because I was starving and I can never pass up on tacos at Guisado's. A couple of days later was the scent fair at the Craft Contemporary Museum. And I definitely wanted to go and check that out, smell some of the perfumes that were on display. But before doing so, Brennan and I had a few things to do. We stopped by a local cafe called Caeleste, and I got a lavender latte and a raspberry cream croissant. There's something about lavender when it's presented in a creamy, sweet way that I find so appealing, both to eat and to wear. We stopped off at the LA Flower Market. Later that evening, Brennan and I were going to go out to the Valley to a party to celebrate our friend's 10-year anniversary. And we thought it'd be nice if we just brought a big statement bouquet of flowers. So we shopped for them and found some really interesting things, like this little bundle of raspberries. I really wanted to get them. They would be so sweet in a bouquet, but I didn't really know what to pair them with, so I left them there. But I did find bearded iris. And I got them along with some poppies. I think that the beautiful bronze color along with the purple is just so stunning. And the smell of bearded iris is unforgettable. I've described it before in certain ways. A little bit of lemon, a little bit of skunk, a little bit of violet. But this time around, when I really got my nose into the bloom, it smelled like fennel to me. Sweet fennel. If you're wondering, is there a perfume that really captures that scent? No, not to my knowledge. So I just sniff these whenever I can to enjoy that smell. Stopped by the scent fair, smelled some really interesting things, including this one scent from a brand called Perfume based in Chicago. My friend Dana actually told me about this scent because she was intrigued by the name, Sister Hildegard, inspired by Hildegard von Bingen, which made me very interested as well. This scent is so Dana. It smells like a damp basement. And if you knew Dana, you would know that that's so Dana. Brennan and I made our way out to the valley, and it was so good to see Laura and Evan and some old friends haven't seen in a while. Their garden has really filled out since the last time we visited them, and I was so happy to see mock orange. I asked Laura if she planted it, and she did, and it was really starting to take off. I love the smell of mock orange. When I was a kid, we had one at the side of our house, and I just thought it was the most glorious scent imaginable. That, in the lily of the valley at the dentist's office next door. I told you about that, and the cigarettes. So today was mall day. I was a man with a mission. I had a few fragrances that I needed to find specifically for work. I'll get into that. I have to find a Claire's to find a particular perfume. I want to tell you why I'm looking for this perfume, but it's kind of a long story. I'm going to be doing an interview with someone pretty soon, and we're going to talk about this one scent, but I have to find it first. So maybe I'll get a piercing while I'm at it. What does this say? Berry, vanilla wink. I love getting tips in the comments of these videos. And I got one great tip talking about Flying Fox from Lush. I never smelled it before. So I tried out the shower gel, and it's this heady, indolic white floral scent. Really beautiful. I can imagine showering with this and then putting on perfume, another white floral like Olean from Boutique, or maybe a tuberose like Fracas or Carnal Flower, and just having the Lush be the base of your scent story that day. It'd be incredible. Okay, I've heard of a few of these like Karma and Lord of Misrule, Breath of God. I always like a cut grass smell, so I'm gonna smell grass. Rose Jam? That has my name written all over it. To me, Death and Decay smells most like that shower gel I just tried. A lot of ylang ylang, nice tropical white florals, very indolic. While at the mall, we had to visit JCPenney, of course. Okay, we are going up to the portrait studio at JCPenney because when Brennan was a young kid, he and his family would get their portraits taken. We're considering getting our portraits taken today. Brennan just corrected me. They actually went to Sears, not JCPenney. I think we're about to give up the ghost when it comes to this photo studio. It's nowhere to be seen. Okay, if I were a photo studio, where would I be? I'm not gonna lie, I feel really comforted when I'm in JCPenney. My mom used to work as a hairdresser for a little while at the JCPenney salon in Pennsylvania, so this just gives me a nice feeling being here. That place just makes me feel very nostalgic and very comforted, I suppose because I spent so much time in the mall and department stores when I was a kid and teenager. And especially with my mom being a hairdresser, I feel like I basically grew up in a hair salon. We did find the photo studio in the end. It was on the top floor, but you can only get to the top floor by taking an elevator. The escalators didn't go up there. We found all of these people waiting to get their picture taken in the lobby outside the studio, and they were dressed so beautifully. And Brennan and I felt schlubby and sweaty. We weren't really prepared for this, so we do want to get our pictures taken there sometime, but you have to book it anyway. We didn't realize it's a process, which we will do at some point. And then it was off to Beverly Hills. We're in Beverly Hills right now because I was on a mission to find a specific perfume at Cartier. So again, this is for work. I'm going to be interviewing someone, and there's a particular fragrance that I've never smelled before that we're going to focus on. I came here and the nicest person ever, her name was Asia Jimerson, hooked me up. I got a sample of it, and I also got a sample of L'air convoité. And it's a carnation. It's so beautiful. And she put it in this bag. So our trip to Beverly Hills was a huge success. We popped into Celine because I love looking at their fragrances. And I was really curious about Un été française. A lot of people have been talking about it, so I tried it on, and it's a gorgeous tuberose. I didn't expect it. Really beautiful. I want to thank Asia again at Cartier for being so generous and so knowledgeable, so sweet. She gave me this sample of L'air convoité. I mean, honestly, it's a travel size. This is really beautiful. I'd heard so much about this fragrance, maybe because my friends know that I'm such a carnation lover, but this is number 2 in the Hours series from Cartier. And what you get is this really novel combination of strawberry with carnation. Oh, just now I'm also getting some iris. Now you think that strawberry would make something a little bit juvenile in a great way, kind of playful and childish, but it's not like that. This is such a sophisticated scent. And I've said many times, I feel that that little wisp of iris gives a perfume an air of luxury. All of the fragrances in the Hours collection from Cartier have that air of luxury. Oh, it's that stunning carnation that really gets me. Asia, you have no idea how happy this makes me. Thank you again. I sprayed this all over myself, and then I went to the nose candy scent swap. My friends Maddie Finney and Chloe Coover have a podcast. I've been on it a few times. It's called Nose Candy, and they started doing these scent swaps where people come with a bottle they don't want anymore. It has to be relatively full, and it gets put on a table, and it's kind of like the white elephant idea. Everyone gets a number, and they get to choose something from the table. I've done it many times in the past, although this year I decided to not really participate. I had something to offer, but I didn't want to take anything, because I know me, I'd probably get obsessed over something on the table and not get it, and be disappointed. I get like that sometimes. But it was great to see what was on offer. And I had my eye on a Yohji Yamamoto fragrance and a bottle of Portrait of a Lady from Frederick Malle, which I already own. So it's probably best I left the scent swap when I did, before I could become too obsessed. But it was a great way to end Scent Week. It was a lot of fun. This morning I started a new week, fresh, by walking the pugs in the park. And the pine needles were still dripping from the sprinklers that went off at sunrise. Look at these saffron-colored towels. They're $6.99. I actually really love this color.